It is a cold and windy day in London. Late October, and winter is drawing ever closer. The members of the London Esoteric Society, or at least some of them, are gathered together at the Society this morning. Before going out on their various errands, you've got a lot of business to discuss and plan. You're there, probably in the library with the new rug and the slightly singed settee. A plate of tea and various biscuits in front of you. Accompanied by a note that has been left by Mr. Embarath, who is out for the day on other errands. He left the note with one of the servants with a somewhat garbled message about tailors and capes and other responsibilities that seemed to bemuse James just as you. But he has left a note. And Elsie is also otherwise engaged today. She has important business to attend to. Either that or she's avoiding you. Hard to tell. And you're going to have to assume it's D'Angelo's at the spa. You haven't heard from him since he stormed off, but hopefully he's alright.
Well, he set all this in motion and then did a runner to avoid them.
Yeah. But yeah, there you are. With library, tea, and plans. What do you wish to do today?
Well, we haven't got dynamite or machine guns, so my first plan's out the window straight away.
We were rather set on having that, but they got lost.
Yeah.
We do have that meeting tonight. You know what time we're supposed to show up?
I think it's probably about 6 or 7, something like that. It could even be 8, I can't remember. Keep it to the specified time, or there probably is a specific time sometime in the evening.
Yes, I believe you had named a time in the evening. Let's call it 8 o'clock.
That's a good...
Perfect. I totally said that right now. So I'd rather I hoped to follow them back in the evening yesterday to search their house while they're busy with the transaction. But sadly, they were gone by the time we showed up again yesterday evening, so we don't know where they actually live.
Mm-hmm. So it's whether they keep the items at their home or their place of business.
Yeah. We could have followed them around. They would have had to go to the place where they stored it at some point in between. But sadly, that opportunity has passed.
Not necessarily.
Not necessarily?
Well, it was D'Angelo who arranged this meeting. I'm not sure if did he agree a price for the item?
£100 was suggested.
Yeah, that was suggested.
Which is quite a lot of money.
Oh, yes, it is. Well, what we could do, we can meet with them. We can imply that we suspect he didn't actually have the item. And I've got an eye for artifacts and things like that. I can use this as an opportunity to look at the item, inspect it to make sure it's a genuine article. And we can just basically say that D'Angelo was the one who was going to be making the payment. And he's out of town on business at the moment. But we were to check that the item is genuine, that we really do have it. And it's not a scam to get us there. We didn't want to bring the money to the site in case we were double-crossed by them.
I mean, fair.
And then we can, once we know they actually have the item, we can then follow them from that point. At least that's one option. The other option is we can provide what information we've gathered so far to the authorities who are investigating the theft. And we can have the police raid the shop and his home.
I mean, right about now, we just have a vague insinuation that he knows where.
Exactly. That is the problem. But we can't, well, we can, but we can't legally break into his property and gain access. The police can.
I mean, yeah, but at the same time, what if it's just the guy who's trying to get money out of us?
There is that as well. So, what we could do is we could inform the police the information we have. And basically admit we don't have any evidence. We just have the fact that one of them, Mr. Whittaker's trying to sell us one of the pieces that was stolen. He claims he has it, but we don't know for certain whether he really has it or not. And we can admit that we've arranged a meeting and I'll to inspect the item and decide whether it's a genuine article. And if it is, then it's very likely he'll have the other piece somewhere. And whether the police have someone in attendance at the Red Lion as informal backup, as a contact as such, just to iron things.
Do you think they'd want to maybe have their police contact follow us into the meeting and just observe from the side?
Could be that as well. But the problem with that is we can't acquire the artifacts for ourselves.
Right, that is a problem.
But do we need to or do we want to? They can always be stolen at another date. And nobody would suspect us because we helped recover them in the first place.
Right. Keeper, since we're having breakfast, have we noticed anything in the papers today? Has there been anything new printed about the theft?
Police are still baffled by the theft at the British Museum. There is one note in the article about outside agencies have now been contacted to provide additional insight on the case. And the museum still has high hopes of reclaiming the items. But there's no real information. Like, it doesn't seem like the police, like, if they know any more, they're not saying any more to journalists.
They probably don't know anymore, but they're implying they might know more. They don't appear as they know nothing.
They have a reputation to lose. All right.
So we could go along with that. We can give the museum the information we have. Because, to be fair, we used to have a good relationship with the police, but we fell out with them. So if we can do this through more or less official channels, we can make ourselves appear more respectable and put us on their good side, at least, if they recover it as such, even with our help.
Do they really need to recover it, or do they just need a scapegoat? And I mean, at least a scapegoat he certainly can be.
Yes, D'Angelo would be a perfect scapegoat.
No, I didn't mean D'Angelo, but yeah.
I only said that because he's not present at the moment.
Okay, so say we go to our favorite police officer and just tell him that we organized a words are hard.
Yes, Inspector Thorne, but I'm not sure whether he would be involved with the exchange itself.
Exactly. That we tell him that we've organized an exchange for that item, and that we would like his guys to to intervene and to take it from them.
That would certainly give us the chance to keep Whitaker, not surprised or suspicious.
I mean,
the other thing I'm concerned about is the main item that seems to be missing. The bracelet would have been taken because it's gold and it's valuable. The other piece is the piece, I believe, which is genuine danger as such, especially when united with the second piece. I have absolutely no idea what they do. So,
it would seem that the other artifact, the stone mirror, that's not really dangerous to normal people unless they know how to invoke it.
It depends whether both pieces together make a gateway of some sort and allow something through. But as you say, I don't think it's dangerous to normal people as such. But I think potentially it could be dangerous. But I am rather suspicious of the fact that Aubrey seems to have lost interest. He is still interested in Egypt, but he seems to have lost interest in acquiring his family's book again. Which I'm not sure you may have not known, but on an earlier investigation, somehow the investigators, before I was not involved with this particular case, managed to get hold of a book. I think it was called Monsters and Their Kind. One of a kind book. And I believe it was to do with Aubrey Penhue's family. It was in their possession. So technically the book does belong to his family, but a member of the society may have acquired it. He was interested in getting it back, but he seems to have dropped that interest. And that's the bit I find suspicious.
You think maybe he's already gotten it back, but doesn't want anyone else to know?
No, I think he's just decided on something else, another interest. That's why I think he's interested in the mirror. I think instead of books, he's now interested in artifacts. The fact was, it's very likely he would have got his book back. The society, I think, would have been interested in making a copy of it once we had studied it and returned the original to him and his family. I think that was probably the plan. I'm not entirely sure. But I suspect him simply because he's studying the same course as the student at the museum who seems to have perhaps been involved with giving information out to someone to help with the break-in. So I don't think the student in question would have given it to the Whitaker and Sons, but I think someone he studied with perhaps he'd give information to. But anyway, I'm just rather suspicious of him, but there's no way to prove it at the moment. Unless Whitaker and Sons happens to keep a record of who they sell what to.
And still, there's a lot of thoughts flying around right now. But
yeah,
what's our next plan of action? Do we need to prep anything? Do we, even if we're putting the cops onto the whole thing, can we guarantee that if the whole thing goes pear-shaped later, that we're still able to intervene somewhere? Is that because, I mean, I'm worried that he's gonna smell the whole thing and gonna just not show up.
There is that, so perhaps we shouldn't have the police at the meeting. And just use the meeting to confirm that the item's real. And if it is real, then it means there is enough information and grounds to have the police involved in searching his properties for him.
But if it's say he shows up and it's real, and we've confirmed that, are we just gonna keep him there? Are we just gonna take it from him? Are we gonna buy it?
£100 is a lot of money. We'd probably have to negotiate on the price.
I mean, are we gonna?
Or at least set up a secondary meeting for the actual exchange.
Yes. So we can have a meeting to confirm the item's real, and once we've got the confirmation that it's real, we can decide on a price at that meeting as well.
Well, how free will we be with D'Angelo's money?
Who knows? I'm not entirely sure what price we can afford.
£100 is quite a bit.
It is. Keeper, do you have any idea what seems a reasonable amount to pay for said item?
It's worth
know we
as
have
much
an
as
issue
someone
with-
is willing to pay for it. It depends how much you're willing to pay and how much someone else is willing to pay.
Oh, actually, I've found my spending level. Just checked. Just a quick question. The spending level relates to the credit level in this game. What period does that wealth cover? Is that like a monthly allowance, or?
The spending limit as calculated by the sheet I would ignore, because that is done, if it's done on the automatic version in the base rules, that is 1920s American dollars. So just to put into sort of context, £100 is equivalent to probably around £16,000.
That's a fair bit.
So depending on how much you think you'd be willing to pay for this.
Ethical murder might be a better choice. Certainly the cheaper option. We could bribe the police for much less than 16,000.
I mean, you don't know how much it costs to bribe the police to help you get away with murder. Could be more or less than that. You don't know.
True. Could also involve jail time if we did try the wrong people.
Bear in mind that at this point in time, there is still capital punishment for murder.
That's true. Or transportation, which tends to be more or less the same.
I'm scared to ask.
You send people to Australia.
Oh, yeah, that's fine. Just that'd be a plot twist. Just the entire LAS getting deported to Australia.
That would be a major left turn.
I mean, there's plenty of stuff to do in Australia. Not that I know anything about that stuff.
But yeah, so sounds like you have various plans.
Very vague ones, yes.
Yes. Once you have fixed upon one, or the vagueness of one, is there anything you would wish to do today ahead of tonight's meeting, whether you're tipping off the police, making a sale, or murdering people?
I think I'm gonna need some sort of weapon that I can probably carry around with me without scaring people. So maybe a big, strong walking cane. Something like that.
Get an air cane.
And what?
Basically, it's a cane that's an air gun.
That's fair, but I think it's probably best if I just if it's something I can hit people with.
Just a heavy walking stick. Just
Yeah. Made of twisted metal. Because awesome.
you could have a heavy metal weight on the top,
Yeah, something like that.
shaped like a massive axe.
I mean, if I'm walking around with a woodman's axe, it's probably gonna be a bit more suspicious.
That's true.
Especially if then people die by axe.
But a walking stick that's weighted can do a fair bit of damage.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna get something along those lines.
And if you got a metal walking stick, that is going to hurt.
Yeah, it's just so I can, in case he's gonna try to pull one over us, that we're able to pull back.
Oh, I suspect he's going to try and set us up. I believe he's going to have his sons or extra muscle present anyhow. Because, I mean, if I was him, that's what I would do.
I mean, if he's trying to get the cops on us because we're trying to buy it, that would be hilarious.
That would be quite funny, actually. But, no. From what I know, this gentleman is very much untrustworthy. So we can rely on him being untrustworthy. But who knows?
So, question: are we gonna tip off the cops, or are we not gonna tip off the cops?
Well, maybe we can tip them off after we have this meeting and determine whether they do have it,
All right, and then for the second one. Yeah, that sounds good.
That sounds a good idea. The other thing is we don't know how this person has avoided being arrested for so long. If he's known to deal with these sort of items, I mean, D'Angelo knew of him. So whether he's got a contact in the police that warns him about stuff. But, well, what I can do, I can meet with Neville Lloyd Price anyway this morning, return his photos to him, give him a bit of information that we found out about the second piece of the same item, and tell him that we think we've got a lead on the bracelet, but we want to make sure it's the genuine article and the person's not trying to set us up. And if we got a confirmation it's the real one, then we'll pass the information we have onto the police to tackle it, and we'll arrange a meeting and the police can grab him. And hopefully that'll put us in the good books of the police as well.
Right.
So we don't go blowing up buildings, burning mansions down and murdering peers of the realm and that sort of thing.
But that's fun. So yeah, Mortimer wants to go talk to Neville Lloyd Price. Does anyone else have anything they wish to do today? Max wants to go buy a big walking stick.
Yeah.
Is there anyone you want to see? Any preparations you want to make? Anyone you wish to talk to?
No, I really had no plans for today. Well, I might go with Max just to see what's on offer.
A nice shopping trip.
Yeah.
And
Okay. So, those two of you going on the shopping trip, would whoever has the lowest lookout of you please make me a look roll?
Oh, that's a question. Probably me.
70 for me.
Definitely me. Wow, 39. That's way more than I was thinking I might have.
You're feeling lucky?
That's what I'm asking. Nope.
No. Okay.
You should have stayed home.
We'll pick up on those two in a minute and what exactly has gone wrong with their shopping trip that has necessitated a fumble on a luck roll. First of all, Mortimer, you're heading back to the British Museum
yes,
and make your way to Lloyd Price's temporary office. He's not a permanent employee of the museum. He's got a little office tucked up out the way. Ah, Mortimer, come in.
Ah,
Come in.
Mr. Price, got some information for you that might be of interest.
Yeah, information's always interesting. Any luck
Well-
on our stray items?
A bit of luck, we've got a lead, but I got some information that would interest you in a professional manner as well. The stone mirror that's missing. It's actually one of two. It's one piece of an item that has two parts. I'll show you these notes. Basically, you remember how the engravings circle into the center and then it cut off? Well, there's a second piece as well. I think it was metal, if I remember correctly. I've got the information down here about the piece that should be in the middle with the rest of the words.
Let me be a daughter dream. Open the door and let her in.
It's a bit strange, but it seems this other piece was in a collection in Oxford some time ago. I don't know where it is now, but Mr. John...
This doesn't make sense.
No,
You're
it
saying
doesn't.
that you're saying that these are two pieces of the same artifact,
Yes.
but one of them was in Oxford decades ago.
I believe it must have been found on some sort of dig or something like that and brought up, but why they were separated, I don't know.
And how does the other half only found by literally
Howard Phillips? Was that?
Philip?
Yes.
Lloyd Price obviously remembered Philip's name. It's me.
Yes, he's just a bit brained today.
How
His
could the
dear
other piece
friend.
only been found by Phillips like this year?
It's strange. I don't know where the first piece was recovered from. I'm just wondering whether back in Egypt, back in the day as such, it was split up for some reason. Who knows? Perhaps someone gave one piece to two different children of theirs or something, to different parts of Egypt.
Maybe.
But yes, it doesn't make sense to me, but it does.
Separate the piece.
I wouldn't separate a piece like that myself. I'd keep them together. It makes no sense. But anyway, so it looks like it's about 70 odd years ago. It is in a collection in Oxford.
Do you know
But,
what happened to it?
No, I don't. We can't find much information on that. But I do have my suspicions on that piece. But I'm not confident that I don't want to go accusing someone when I'm completely wrong. I just have suspicions of someone who's got an interested in Egypt, but a lot of people do.
Oh, it's very fashionable. Look, if you've got a
Exactly.
name, I can pass it on to the police and they can go and have a word with them in an official capacity.
Well, this is the thing. One of my gentleman friends, D'Angelo, he had heard rumours of someone who dealt with unusual artefacts, and he was approached and he offered to sell us the bracelet. The snake bracelet, the thing that had gone missing, the golden bracelet. He told us the stone mirror wasn't for sale. But he was implying that he didn't say he had these pieces, but he said he knew a person who knew someone who had them. But it's, you know how these people are. But we're not entirely sure whether he has the real item. So what we've gone and done, we've arranged a meeting with him to discuss the bracelet, and we're going to check whether he genuinely has it. He wants us to pay £100 for it.
That's
Which is a bit of money.
That's quite a good price.
It's a lot of money, though. I don't have to
Yes,
carry
yes. I'm not suggesting you buy it back.
We're going to meet with him. I wish to inspect the item to make sure he really has the item and he's not trying to set us up just to rob us, which is possible.
Yes. Well, if he
gentleman-
does have it,
we can involve the police, we can pass the information on to them, and what we'll then do, perhaps, is arrange a meeting to do the sale as such, and the police can help, and, well, they can get hold of the bracelet at least and find out about the other piece.
Yes. Do you want me to come along with you, or is this best handled by,
Oh,
whatever it is you people
I'd say just
do?
it's probably best just for us to handle it. We're I'm not sure the best word to describe what we are. We're not tied to the police or any official body as such, so we're relatively neutral. But they might recognise you from the museum.
You're like, oh, what's his face in the paper, in the stories in the paper, consulting detectives, that's the word.
That's the word. But we are quite happy for the police to do the actual arrests, because obviously we can't, and we can't search the gentleman's property or this place of business.
No, I wouldn't suggest you start doing that. That seems like a
We
fast
don't
path to getting in a lot of trouble. It's
exactly.
Neither I nor the museum would want to be associated with.
Exactly. So
we don't go around robbing people's houses.
But we're quite happy to get the information, confirm that he has the genuine article for sale,
yes,
and then arrange a meeting and have the police turn up at the same time. Perhaps they can search his business and home whilst also capturing him at the handover.
All right, excellent. Well, let me know how it goes, and best of luck. And don't put yourself in any.
Yeah, we're not planning to put ourselves in any danger. This is just purely a business matter between us and him. But, these are your photos. Sorry, I forgot. I was returning those photos of the items that you gave me.
Oh, thank you. Good, they were my only copies. Could it be of use?
Yeah. If you wish, you can keep the notes on the second piece as well. We have further notes. It might be of interest.
I'll have to do some chasing up with the collections up in Oxford, see if anyone knows what happened to the piece, whether it's still there or...
Well, the thing was, I remember a story...
It would be good to unite the two.
It could be.
No.
I remember a story, I think it must have been a couple of years ago, about one of the professors, a doctor who'd killed himself under unusual circumstances. And I suspect he had an interest... I can't remember exactly. There'd been stories of unusual items that had been recovered from his home. So I'm wondering whether it had been taken from his collection. But anyway, these are all places to start the searching, but at least we've made some progress for you, and hopefully within a couple of days, we'll have at least a bracelet for you, and hopefully a tale on where the other piece has gone.
Excellent. Excellent indeed.
Well, we'll better get back to it then. But thank you for your time, and let's hope we find these pieces.
Okay. So as you exit Lloyd Price's office and make your way out of the museum, would you mind giving me the little list of a spot hidden check, please?
Don't fail.
Nothing to worry about. It's cold and windy day, a little bit of rain. And you make your way out of the museum. Do you have any other places to be before this evening?
Being that he's got most of the day, I think he'd probably just return to his shop. He's got a few things to sort out business-wise there.
Okay. In which case, we will go over to the other two members of the society, John and Maximilian, who are out shopping for a walking stick. You find a fine establishment specialising in gentlemen's canes, walking sticks, of all manners and heights, made to measure. You can pick what kind of wood you're interested in, or you can pick one off the rack if you really need one in a hurry and aren't prepared to wait for them to carve a handle to fit your hand perfectly.
I think I would probably have him, take the measurements he needs to to get one made, but I would obviously, because I'm not feeling well, I would need one for now, and I would
Temporary one.
basically get like a temporary one, and I'll just find the heaviest one he has. Use that. Heavy means sturdy, right?
Yes, yeah.
I mean, I need to lean on that. It's important.
Big, sturdy walking stick. Yes. Yes. And as you're leaving the Emporium of Walking Sticks and Canes, unless John wishes to buy anything whilst he's in there as well,
Just here for the beer.
you hear a rattle of horses' hooves, and a hansom cab pulls up beside you. And the driver, is solidly built but dressed in livery, reminds you somewhat of Bo, your cab driver. Leans down from the front and says, "Mr. Greaves, Mr. Johnson."
Yeah.
Hello?
My lord wishes for a moment of your time, if you can spare it. Do you mind, stepping inside?
I don't mind.
Sure, why not? Nothing possibly could go wrong.
Yeah, what's... I mean, his... Can we, from the library, can we place these guys?
Is there anyone else in the cab?
There is... From the street, give me a spot hidden. Currently the cab is there, it's got its curtains drawn, you can't see straight inside. You can get a glimpse of the edge of a profile of a face and the edge of a top hat. It does look like there is somebody inside the carriage.
Okay. There does seem to be someone in there. Someone...
But you don't recognise the servant, no. You've not seen him before.
Sure, let's enter.
Okay.
Okay, the driver hops down to let you in. And seated inside is a gentleman in his 60s with a top hat, a smart suit, an impressive moustache, and you know what? Let's go all out. A monocle.
Hello there.
Good evening.
Good
Well,
afternoon.
I think so.
Jerome Malmsby.
I'm sorry. Can you repeat that?
My name, Lord Jerome
Oh,
Malmsby.
I see. Yeah, I must have. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
Pleasure to meet you. Drive on. And the carriage rattles into movement. Sorry for the subterfuge of meeting you here, but it seemed easier to come to you rather than the whole hullabaloo back and forth of sending invites and waiting for someone to respond to the invite.
I mean, yeah, but this way is most certainly faster.
Yes.
So why did you need that quick?
I am a collector of antiquities.
You are?
Yes. I believe we have some interests in common. And it has come to my attention that you have been speaking to a mutual acquaintance of ours.
That is possible, yes.
And it's also come to my attention that you have prior associations with Scotland Yard and other such
I mean,
interfering establishments.
who hasn't? I mean,
I've come
Well-
here to politely and kindly ask you to step back from this one. It is not your concern.
It's nice to see that you're concerned for us, but could you tell us more why it is we should step back?
Because your society seems a very fine and interesting establishment. Investigating curiosities, it's such a thing that should be encouraged in our society. And I would hate to see anything unfortunate happen to it.
Well, understood.
how solidly built is the guy in front of me?
The guy inside the carriage with you?
Hmm?
Or the
The one
particularly.
who so foolishly threatens us while we're alone with him in the carriage.
He's, not hugely solidly built. He's I bet he's in his 60s. You can see he's got a walking stick leaned against the side of the carriage. And an umbrella.
All right.
If it's not too bold to ask, what is your interest in this piece?
I am a collector of pieces with interesting history. I've put a good deal of funds into acquiring certain items.
Certain specific items?
Yes.
The odd ones?
The odd ones with histories that are dramatic and exciting.
Just dramatic and exciting? Or,
Yes. Have you ever heard of Arthur Walsh and the Birmingham Coterie?
I'll look to John. Because if somebody's heard of it, it's probably one of the brainy boys.
I'm sorry, that name escapes me. I'm not familiar with it.
An academic. Ahead of his time. An occultist of sorts.
Now you're getting interesting.
Yes, sadly deceased, but I had the good fortune to meet his wife not long ago. Very interesting woman, telling all about travels all the way to Iceland.
Oh! I don't know them.
Very fascinating history, but when I went to the museum the other day, I happened to sight upon something that reminded me very much of an artifact that had since come into my possession. Anyway, suffice to say, I don't wish you to interfere in my business any longer. And if you try to, I will make life incredibly difficult for you.
Yes, you would be at the end of a long list of people in that regard. Well, since we both seem to have an interest in this piece, what is it you can offer us if we do step back and pay no attention to it?
If it's money you're after, I can provide a considerable sum. We have society to never think about this subject again. Say £200.
And John will try very hard to suppress, like, what?
Otherwise, if your society requires any assistance, connections, introductions to members of higher society, I can help provide those. I believe you have some of your own, but
But that sort of
I can open
that
doors
sort of
for you
thing-
if that's helpful.
those sorts of connections are, in many cases, more valuable than money itself.
Indeed.
Say, you're just collecting them, right? There's no use for these cases, right?
I am merely a collector.
I don't actually mind these things just sitting somewhere and collecting dust.
Oh no, I keep my collections well dusted.
I assumed so, but metaphorically speaking. Have you... I'm trying to be inconspicuous by pulling out of him whether he knows about the mythos or not. And
I mean, you can give me a psychology roll if you'd like. Unfortunately, today we have not got the human lie detector, D'Angelo, Europe-wide psychology expert with us.
I have no freaking clue.
No,
Right.
he's hard to get a read on.
I mean, on one hand, I don't really mind stepping back from this. On the other hand, getting threatened really grinds my gears.
What do you suggest then? I've tried bribery and threats.
Fair. Yeah,
Well-
we'll probably discuss the whole thing with the others,
Oh, I can drop you off at the door, leave you some time to mull it over.
and we'll come back to you.
I think we can come to a civilized arrangement.
Yes. Here's my card. You can, if you wish to contact me, you can send a letter there.
Well, maybe we find some curiosity you might be interested in and send it out to
That
your way.
too. That too. I am always open for additions to my collection.
Also, we could we would love to be able to, take a look at your collection.
I'm afraid it's a very private collection.
Oh, that is sad.
Not open to the public.
Well, could you at least tell us what sort of collections you have in mind in case we come across sort of some instance of things you might be interested in?
Anything with an interesting past. Anything.
Any particular geographic locations they come from?
No. I have items from as far afield as the northern wastelands of British Columbia.
We go there.
I know. To the deserts of Australia.
We'll keep that in mind.
Well, I believe here we are, Grosvenor Square. Wonderful address. I really do like the houses around here. I have a townhouse not too far from here, but I don't use it as often as I should. I end up spending more time in the country these days than I used to. Well, it was delightful to meet you, gentlemen, and good day.
Good day.
Good day.
And he drops you off outside the front door of the London Esoteric Society.
Max, what do you think? It seems like we're getting into something really deep here. What
I was about to punch him.
He was an older man. But,
He might not have survived that, and then we would have had even more problems.
true.
And if he'd survived it, that would have been a whole nother story of problems.
Okay. Indeed. It's let's go in and see who else is here. I'm kind of as well as a lord. I'm not terribly surprised, but that he would just simply offer £200 off the cuff. Meaning that he would likely have much more.
Yeah. I mean, political consequences. Do you think his collection's the odd stuff? I was trying to be sneaky and pull it out of him, but I'm not the person to do that. Why did he have to catch us too? Couldn't he get one of the target boys, like Ignatius or something?
Yeah. It is, it's interesting that he would know to look for us there. And what are the odds that he would just he would be in the cab, driving about the city, and just happen to come across us at that location?
I don't know. Must have had really bad luck. It does not. You think he was stalking us? Trying to find a place where
I would bet on it.
it's got nothing better to do.
Well, he already knew that we knew about the object, and that we were interested in it, and we would be having some dealings with it. So he's probably had someone watching us.
I mean, we should probably. And I'll just tone down my voice like to a whisper. We should probably ask a couple of our friends at the Scotland Yard on how to interact once lords start dealing with the wrong side of the law, and how we best act so as to not
Well, generally, I think they're pretty much above the law, no matter what they do.
So I should have probably punched him.
That would have been an exceptionally bad idea.
Yes, but it would have felt great.
Oh, it would have, no doubt.
Didn't the last Earl that fucked with our society end a similar way? We're gonna find a way, right? If we burn down his estate, I don't know.
Well, fire happens.
Yeah, it's tragic incidents. That'll make more people more nervous. But
Let's not stand outside. Let's go in.
yeah, let's go inside. Let's Mortimer, and maybe Elsie if she's here.
Mm-hmm. We knock on the door. And who answers? James?
Yes, James will let you in. Would Mortimer be here, or would he be at his shop? Where would you like to be?
To be fair, after sorting out things at his shop, he would have come here, so it depends how long they were in their meeting for.
Yeah. I
could
think
already
they
be
were
here.
off doing other things before they got... It took them a while to get to the shop. They've been having a relaxed day until they were...
They took the scenic
doing
route.
that. Yes. Yes, Dr. Davenport is just up in the parlour.
Oh, thank you, James.
Will you be staying for dinner?
I believe we have an engagement this evening, but if we have something a bit earlier, wouldn't hurt.
Oh yes, I'll get some cold cuts, and I think we've got some pork pie. We can get that same time.
Oh, awesome. That would be wonderful, James. Thanks.
Of course,
So I guess we'll make our way up. Mortimer.
Good afternoon.
You'll
Good
never... Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Good shopping trip.
You would never believe who we ran into.
The Black Pharaoh.
No, not him.
Close enough.
I mean, maybe his personal representative here. Do you know a Lord Jerome Malmsey?
You would have heard of him. He's not someone that the wards are friends with necessarily.
But I would have had a name.
Actually, you probably have heard your brother-in-law Henry complaining about him. They've ended up on the opposite sides of the
House of Lords or whatever.
Yes, opposite side of debates in the House of Lords, particularly referring to things like the Home Rule Bill, and they're not in the same political party. They're very much opposition to each other.
You muted.
Just realised that. So I'd be aware he's involved in politics and that sort of thing.
Yes, he's an active... Well, obviously, as a lord, he sits in the House of Lords, but he is also actively involved.
Would I have any idea on his scale of influence in comparison to my brother-in-law?
For the way your brother-in-law termed it, he's quite
Connected.
influential, quite well connected, yes.
Yeah, that's more or less what I wanted to know, whether he was just a lord in name with literal no power as such. But no, he's someone with power and influence at levels.
He's the kind of person who seems to have he's got a lot of connections and friends in high places.
And probably low places as well.
Not that Henry has mentioned, he wouldn't know, or at least he wouldn't talk about that sort of thing to you.
Oh.
It comes with the territory, though.
I have heard the name. My brother-in-law mentioned something. My brother-in-law is Lord Ward. He's involved with the House of Lords and political matters and stuff like that. This Lord Jerome Malmsey, he's often opposed political parties, a very active member of the House of Lords. He's got political connections high up with a lot of people, but I don't know details as such. I've never had an interest in politics, but he is connected with people.
Because we had a personal visitation by him as we were out shopping. He stopped by and picked us up outside the shop, and we had a conversation with him.
He wasn't offering to cover your shopping trip costs, was he?
No, not exactly. He was warning us off this particular investigation we're working on. He was very nice about it.
Those are usually ones you need to worry about.
I mean, first off, he offered us, say, just 200 pounds off the cuff to look the other way.
Yeah.
And if you start off open with that, then he...
Did he explain what his interest was in, or why he wanted us not involved?
Oh, he did. He claims to be a collector of these sorts of items. And that he's quite... Go ahead.
Keeper, would I know whether this lord went to Oxford?
Not as... Give me...
I'm just wondering whether that's...
It's a good role for remembering something your brother-in-law said over dinner once whilst ranting about something. I guess...
Intelligence is
Intelligence, yeah. Remembering stuff. The question here is how... It turns out Mortimer does listen to what Henry is saying over the dinner when he's ranting about politics. Malmsey was an Oxford man, yeah. He was at Oxford.
In that case, would I have known anything about him?
So he would have been there, a student there, I think, long before your time working there. Hang on, how old is John again?
50, I think. Yeah, 50.
Yeah, so he's probably at least a decade older than John, so it wouldn't have had any overlap, really.
But I never would have come across anything from him in the library collections, or...
No, it's not a name that rings a bell as any academic rigor.
Okay.
Well, that's interesting.
But,
Wondering if he's got the other piece then.
Well, he does seem to... He implied that he had quite a number of other collections, none of which are available for public viewing. But he offered us the money. He offered us high-level connections, should we want that. And he also threatened. Not directly, but you know how those things go.
The question would be whether he's interested in the bracelet or the mirror.
Let's assume the mirror.
If he's got a piece of it already, then that would make sense. So we can still follow the same plan to get hold of the bracelet.
I mean, even if he was in for the bracelet, I'm thinking the fact that he was not, able to name like a specific period or specific area of interest meant he's interested in the odd stuff, in the problematic stuff.
Yeah.
The fact that, he's on the opposite side of your family makes me think maybe we can cause a bit of problems for him if he tries to do that with us. I'm not sure how the whole thing works. I'm not political things doing well with that. I was about to just punch him in the face, and that was not going to be a feasible way to solve that, right? Would have just caused more problems.
I think we should probably pursue the bracelet as planned. At least we've got something back. If we manage to get hold of it and return it to the museum, that's success in itself. The mirror, we may have to end up turning a blind eye to it until we have a bit more information on this lord. I can ask my sister and my brother-in-law for further info. You could probably ask at the Pacific Club. Someone there might have some sort of insight to this gentleman and his collections and stuff like that.
It did seem, though, that he has work in progress trying to acquire this item for himself. So, I mean, he may already be involved with Whitaker.
Very likely. He could easily outbid us.
No doubt.
So if Whitaker's got any sense, he did actually mention that the mirror wasn't for sale. So I suspect he's already sold that, and he may have grabbed the bracelet at the same time because it looked valuable, which is true. It's gold and gems. Even without the history and the unusual abilities or strange items like that, it would fetch a decent price on the market itself just because of the materials it was made from. But it's interesting. We have a new name, a new player, or possibly an old player we didn't know about.
Right. And
if he's as influential as he seems to be, or we believe he might be, I don't think the police will bother looking into him if his name pops up during the investigation. I think they would turn a blind eye to it. So, as long as we don't directly pursue him, he's more or less in the clear as far as that is concerned.
If the guy comes to harm in a way that does not involve normal means, we're in the clear, right?
More or less.
So there's certainly emergency measures that we can do if we need to.
We do have a lot of pleasant options.
But now, seeing as how highly seated he is, you think he has other connections into our world that we should be concerned about? I mean, if he suddenly goes missing and someone else knows that he's asking us to stay out of it.
I don't think someone like that can go missing and there not be a fuss made from it. I think he's the sort of person that if he goes missing, there will be a large investigation from people much higher than the police, like peers of the realm, nobility, and that will make a massive fuss, and the police will be full out to track down the perpetrators, or at least come up with an answer, even if it's the wrong one.
Are we going ahead with the meet down in Wapping tonight?
I think we should, at least to make the meeting and talk about it.
It'd be rude not to turn up. It's an appointment. We're British, we turn up for appointments and stuff like that.
But we do have something else we can try. What's the word? To talk with Whitaker, try to suss out if he's involved with Malmsey.
We can ask whether he's the buyer of the first piece that we were interested in. And we can make it clear to him that we're not interested in that piece at all.
Right.
Although we are, but we can tell him.
Right.
We know we're not going to get involved with people that connected.
Right.
They're too much trouble. So it looks like we are going ahead with it. Or
Okay, well,
Should we just meet him
Yes.
before the appointed time? Just meet him up in his shop and tell him the deal has fallen through because he's not been able to shut the fuck up about who was dealing with him. Because he had to be the one that told Malmsey that we were interested, right?
It's very true.
So we could just be like, okay, you lost your chance to deal with us. Let's hope Malmsey's price is worth it to you. So that feels like actually stepping down, and because you threatened me, I really don't want to. I kind of feel like antagonizing him for.
It'll make you feel better, you mean?
Yeah, but that's not the politicky kind of way.
No, but we could always, as you say, we can just go to a shop, meet him early, and inquire about this lord and his interest.
I think that's probably the best idea.
Basically,
We can just decide whether we step down and we'll tell the cops that Momsey is the one that had the whole thing done, and that we are not able to do anything about that. And then he gets to deal with the cops.
we can do, but I suspect he won't have any problems with the cops.
I mean, he doesn't have them, right? He's a lord. He's basically safe from the whole thing.
Yeah, I do think we should meet with this Whittaker person early. There's no point waiting to the appointed time, and
waiting until the appointed time is just going to antagonize Momsey.
And if we keep, this is just an idea, but if we keep never get it right. Momsey's name.
I'm regretting that guy's name already.
Mumsy.
Malmsey.
Yeah.
Like a vat of Malmsey.
If we keep Malmsey's name out of it with the police, I mean, he does have the potential of offering us some very valuable information.
True, he might be an interesting contact. And possibly someone we could sell stuff to as well if we need to.
It's nice to have, contact with someone who is effectively unlimited pocket depth.
Yeah, someone that connected would be useful to have, so we can always meet with Whittaker. Mention we were approached by the person who is interested in the mirror. Make it clear we're not interested in that piece or antagonising this lord. And say that we still interested in the bracelet, but we're not entirely sure he still has it. And we'd like to ideally view it to confirm that it's the genuine article and he's not trying to set us up to rob us. And perhaps to discuss a price, to be fair, because £100 does seem a lot of money, but who knows? If this lord's interested in the bracelet as well, we can't afford that. He will outbid us easily.
Okay, so the plan is to go to Whittaker and Sons Furniture Emporium and have a little pre-meeting.
Yep. Pre-meeting with machine gun and dynamite.
If you want to call yourself as a nickname Machine Gun and Dynamite, that is entirely up to you.
Be a good nickname.
But
Has James appeared with those pork pies yet?
oh yes, at some point during this conversation, James popped up with pork pies, cold cuts of meat, cheese, bread, mustard, chutney.
I mean, there's the other option. We could just off our favorite furniture salesman, and neither is gonna get the damn thing. It's just gonna be lost wherever he hid it.
Well, if it gets back to Lord Malmsey, that we interfered with his acquisition of the object. That could be unpleasant.
Tragic. London's a dangerous cesspool of crime.
It is. That is.
This is complicated.
Okay. Well, I think we'll pick up after the break as we decide to threaten, bribe, and/or murder an innocent furniture salesman. We'll see you back in 10 minutes' time. It is late afternoon getting on for early evening on the 22nd of October, 1894, and three gentlemen are heading to a Knightsbridge furniture shop to see a man about some ancient Egyptian stolen artifacts. You arrive at Whittaker and Sons furniture shop. You see the shop itself with an impressive display of sideboards and tables and dressers, and a young man is wandering around the shop floor, occasionally just polishing a little smudge from the edge of a mahogany tabletop. And it's not the same young man that, Max, you saw yesterday when you were at the shop. He looks very similar. This one's a little taller. Afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Can I help you, gentlemen? Are you interested in purchasing any of our fine furniture?
I don't think so. It's about a meeting this evening that we'll have to sadly postpone.
Oh, that's a terrible shame. Shall I pass the word on to my father?
Is he not in at the moment?
Yeah, we were hoping to have a word.
He had popped home to collect some items ahead of this evening's meeting.
Ah.
Understandable. Well,
but I can pass the message along. If you're no longer able to meet, if you're not interested in buying any tables anymore.
Well, we were rather hoping to talk with him directly.
Well, he will be down at the Red Lion in Wapping, I believe, this evening in approximately an hour's time.
It seems it, right?
you see, there's a bit of a problem with the information that we were interested in said item. Having been there's a bit of a problem with our interest in that item being known by a certain Lord Malmsley. And
Never heard of him. We are a fine establishment, but peers of the realm tend not to buy their own furniture.
Fascinating.
And
Well,
we of course are a very discreet establishment when it comes to our furniture sales. We would never dream of passing on information on one client's preference for table legs to another client. That would be yes, give me a psychology roll with
Just want to see if he reacts to the name. What's that? Which is. Oh, there you go.
He definitely recognised the name Malmsley or Malmsley when it was said. Like, he definitely knew the name. Like, he does know of that particular gentleman.
That's pretty much all left.
Yeah, but we would never pass on such information.
Slightly off topic now. The furniture you sell here, do you sell, say, Eastern themed furniture or or Egyptian themed or different styles of furniture? I'm wondering what's popular at the moment.
Oh, the furniture. You thought him for a moment looking around the showroom, like assessing his
You're
chairs and
genuinely
tables.
interested in furniture.
So furniture or furniture?
The sort of furniture that, like tables and chairs, that sort of thing. I'm actually considering moving home and.
I mean, we don't generally sell themed furniture, but Egyptian influences have been quite popular of late. We've got a nice table over here with, if you see, we've got sort of Egyptian themed decorations, legs reminiscent of a temple of Luxor, I believe this was based off. We've got a number of artifacts. We can make things to measure and demand as well. And he brings up, you see him whip out a catalogue and he starts enthusiastically talking about furniture. You get the impression that for all of the side business, Whittaker & Sons actually do sell furniture. It's actually very nice furniture. If you like.
Yeah, I'll definitely come here once I've got a better idea of what I need. So, what do you think? Should we go ahead with the meeting and discuss it with Mr. Whittaker in person? Or just try to cancel the whole meeting?
Are you asking us or?
Yes.
No, okay. I think we should go through with it.
It would be rude not to turn up. At least we can let him know our interest change with the meeting.
Yeah, look, it had to be one of these guys that, told Malmsley. And I'm not sure why they would. Right? Because they want a high price for their wares. Why would they tell the guy that's powerful enough to pressure people out of buying? That's just gonna reduce the price that they can take at the end. I mean, they could still, choose the higher bidder, right? So why is Malmsley coming here, threatening us, and trying to buy us off with £200?
Maybe he just wants to guarantee that he's the one who gets the object.
Perhaps, but I think that let's go ahead with the meeting and we can discuss it with Mr. Whittaker in person.
Okay.
That's the best option.
No, I'm sure there are no price tags on the furniture, but do we get the feeling this is very high end?
This is high end. This is the sort of furniture that would be used to furnish somewhere like 18 Grosvenor Square. This is very much,
The sort of furniture that would last a long.
Yes, it would last a lifetime. This is expensive furniture for kitting out your townhouse, or if you've built a new wing on your country mansion, or want to update your inherited furniture that's been hanging around since the 1700s.
Oh, so not from Primark.
No, this is very much not the Primark of its day.
Ah, okay.
If Primark did furniture and was around in the Victorian era.
Right, yeah.
This is not that. So, yeah, we leave behind the fashionable shopping districts of Knightsbridge and head over to Wapping in East London. And the Red Lion pub, previous site of a notorious murder, which you had chosen, or at least one of you had chosen as the meeting place for this evening's handover. And there's a fair hustle and bustle in the tap room as you make your way in. Have you dressed down for the occasion, or are we still wearing
Definitely,
your
Mortimer's been
Knightsbridge clothes.
Mortimer's been here before with Augustus Green, so he will dress down definitely this time.
Yeah, there's a sort of people, workers finished with the day's shift, people who look like they've been there all day. It's quite a varied crowd. You don't see Whitaker at first glance, like he's not sat there at the bar waiting for you.
Do I recognise anyone from my previous meeting with Augustus Green in this bar?
There's a few faces that seem familiar, but you find it hard to instantly put a name to those faces.
Don't worry about names.
It has been a while.
No.
But yeah, you're fairly sure that you have seen some of these people.
I seem to remember there being a Macy or someone like that. A young lady that Augustus Green spoke with.
Quite possibly, that does sound perfectly plausible. Macy, yeah, perhaps her name was Macy.
As we're looking around, do we notice anyone taking any particular interest in us?
Make me a spot hidden, please, or psychology. Yes. As you come in, several people are looking at you. First of all, there is a young woman propped above the bar in a very low-cut dress with full skirt who turns. He sees the three gentlemen walk in, and she's sort of taking the measure of you, of looking up and down, taking measure of your clothes. On the other side of the room, a kind of scraggly-looking fellow also seems to be weighing up the measure of your clothes, possibly for different reasons, but sort of trying to assess your wealth or ability to fight. But there's also a smartly but plainly dressed man in sort of workman's clothes, seated by the bar, who scans you over as you look in and seems to be watching you. He has a pint in his hand, but as he raises it to his lips, you see he doesn't really seem to be drinking it. He's more just lightly sipping at it. Sets it down again.
All right.
Well, we probably should buy a drink.
Sure, let's go to the bar and get a drink. I'm gonna pull my chair right next to the guy who's not drinking. I'm getting getting a beer.
Alright, the barmaid starts pulling pints, and the man who was not drinking leans over towards Maximilian. Evening.
Evening. How you doing?
Not bad. You wouldn't by any chance be here at Furniture Imports?
I mean, potentially. But
The others are waiting for you upstairs, first room on the left.
sounds good. That's just a slight problem with the whole thing. You wouldn't potentially know somebody with loose lips within the whole thing?
Oh, well, loose lips? Nah.
Because somebody has them, and that's probably not good for your business.
Well, if I told you, that would make me the loose lip fellow, wouldn't it?
That's probably true. That's probably
We don't
true.
have any loose lips around here. But boss is upstairs, he managed to get a private room. Must say, your choice of venue, drinks are usually better at a normal meeting spots.
That's true. But it has a giant benefit of being seedy.
Less popular with the cops. The sort of place they'd come.
not some place that anyone would come if they had another choice.
True.
That man over there just spent half an hour telling me about a guy found upstairs with a heart out of his chest.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah, that was some time ago, that was.
Yeah.
That was before my time, I think.
That way.
Well, let's
Well,
go.
it's only a few
then.
years back. You're not that young.
Oh no, not that way. But you know, it's fine. Just don't think about it.
I can show you. I'll show you upstairs, shall I?
Yeah, that sounds good.
And he leads you upstairs to a small, shabby-looking room where you can see Whitaker Senior waiting with one of his sons and another quite heavy-set gentleman is leaning against the door as you walk in. Sort of, you know, like you open the door and he's there just beside it, like gives you a little nod as you walk in, and the fellow from downstairs follows you in as well.
Now, when you say heavyset, is he simply very heavy, or is he very muscular and looks to be the?
I'd say a bit of both. Like, yeah,
They're Augustus.
they've got an Augustus, yes.
All right.
Gentlemen, glad you could make it. I'd say take a seat, but there's a rickety chair on the edge of this bed that I'm not sure I want to touch. It might be lax. But I decided this was a conversation we didn't want to have in a crowded tap room, especially when money was concerned around these parts. I would
Yeah, very
really
good point.
like to leave Wapping with all my insides on the inside.
Yeah, there's looks to be a few pickpockets downstairs, eyeing everyone up as they come in.
Yes.
We had actually been warned off making this meeting with you.
We did indeed.
One
We
off, eh?
Yeah, we had a visit from Viscount Teviot, who advised
You
us that
see
it might
his brow furrows for a moment, and then he looks at you. No, who? What? Huh?
Lord Jerome Malmsley.
Not familiar with the fellow personally. Maybe my friend knows him though. Who knows?
Well, he's obviously from the title Lord. He's
The friend
wealthy.
of a friend.
Well, he certainly was informed that we were interested and tried to, you know, get us to be not interested anymore. And as you will understand,
That's quite irregular. But I would.
So do you have any other? Do you not have any other buyers interested in this piece that might have somehow
I've set a
found
number of interested parties.
out? And how would any of those parties have gotten information as to who the other parties were?
Not from me. That is quite certain. I don't know any of the names of anyone involved. I'm just a go-between.
well, you should probably make sure that our lordly friend isn't able to dump the price of your produce by scaring everybody else away, because we are not going to be able to go through with this deal now.
Oh, that's a terrible shame. I was looking forward to doing business with you.
We were too, but sadly,
Well,
Perhaps at a later date another piece, who knows? I certainly have admiring some of the furniture in your shop.
yes, my sons handle most of the furniture.
Yeah, he was very enthusiastic, showing me.
Oh, Alexander, I assume. He's always.
Yes, I'm considering moving house and refurnishing a whole building, so it's not good business, but
truly fascinating. But look,
not your interest, not an honest deal.
if we want to talk furniture, we can talk furniture in the furniture shop.
I think that's probably best.
If you're not interested in doing business anymore, well, that is an awful, terrible pity. I'll be on my way.
Yes, unfortunately, we had been warned off by someone rather influential that we can't really cross.
This lord you speak of, well, I don't know him personally, but I must say, it's rather bad form to go around threatening people about this sort of
Yeah,
thing.
especially since you could have just paid more.
Indeed,
It was-
indeed. Well, anyway.
Take care of yourself.
Indeed. You too. Gentlemen, Peter, let's get out of this place.
Yeah, I don't think I'll finish my drink here.
That's fine.
The drinks didn't taste funny, did they?
No, a
Good.
bit watery.
Yeah, definitely the sort of watering down the beer. You see, Whittaker and his associates leave the room. Are you heading downstairs as well, or are you?
I
Are you
mean,
heading out
yeah.
and lingering in this place any longer?
No real need for us, I don't think.
Oh, maybe.
But did you want to?
I'm thinking of staying back. Following them. But Max is just not really Franco.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I can try, right?
But having said that, even Franco fumbled.
Yeah, but at least he had success chances that were, reasonable. Well, I'll try to follow them.
Okay, so you're directly following. You're trying to be stealthy here. Is that the implication?
Yeah, I'll
You're
try
trying
to be stealthy.
not to be seen following them. Give me a stealth roll, please, as you follow them out. You hear as they're going down the stairs. You do all hear Whittaker say to his son, "That's a bloody waste of time. Dragging us all the way out here just to say, oh no."
And we'll strike up a conversation. Oh, awesome! With Mortimer to try to cover for Max being stealthy.
Max, where?
No need.
Max is gone.
Apparently. Yeah.
Who's Max?
The door.
But yeah, Max, you're following them after them, blending into the crowd in the bar downstairs as Whittaker, his son, and the two sort of bodyguard fellows are parting their way through the crowd. They get to the door. Just as they're reaching, they definitely haven't noticed you following. They reach the door, step out onto the dark street outside. Whittaker says to one of the gentlemen, Harold, you go find us a cab. We'll wait here. I'm not trudging around half the streets in Wapping this time of night. Yes, boss. Be right back. And he heads off, leaving the other three outside the Red Lion. A brief amount of time passes. Harold has gone to fetch the carriage, the other three are waiting. And you see another gentleman heading down the street towards the bar. Got your stumbling gait. Probably walks right past where Maximilian is, doesn't notice him as he heads to where the others are waiting. Then he steps past the door towards Whittaker. I'd like to give you a spot hidden here, Maximilian.
Nice.
As he steps closer, you see for a moment the gas lamp glint of metal in his hand. You have a brief instant. You can see this man stumbling towards where Whittaker is. You see the glint of metal in his hand. You are hidden. Neither Whittaker nor this other man, nor any of Whittaker's associates know you're there. Do you do anything?
So, just to clarify the situation, the guy that stumbled out stole...
So Whittaker, his son, and one of his guards are waiting just round the corner from the Red Lion. You see another man come stumbling down the lane towards the Red Lion. And he goes past the door to the pub, towards where Whitaker and his companions are standing.
Mm-hmm.
And as the man steps closer to Whitaker, you see a glint of metal in his hand.
All right. So, who's his hand right now? Is it Whitaker?
Not
who
Whitaker's
has
hand, the mystery man.
the mystery man? And he's moving towards Whitaker.
Yes.
All right. I'm just waiting for a second there. I'm not sure what I'm seeing there.
There was a sudden shout of anger, and you see the man's hand. He almost looks like at first like he just punched Whitaker in the belly, and then you see his hands draw back. There is blood on a knife in his hand. There's a shout from the guard. He goes to grab the man, and then the knife swings round again. There's more, like, shouting, a scream from Whitaker's son. It seems like a fight has broken out. Whoever this man is, he has just stabbed Whitaker in the stomach, and he seems to be making an attempt on the son as well. Do you do anything? You are still
I'll intervene. I'll
Okay.
tackle the guy down.
Sorry, could you say that again, please?
I'll tackle him down.
Okay, give me a fighting brawl. You have a bonus die because he did not know you were there. Nobody knew you were there.
That'd be a hard success then.
Okay, can I have a listen roll from John and Mortimer? See if you hear any of this from... Because you were having a conversation
Just saying,
upstairs.
Max, you could actually make that an extreme potentially with 8 luck if you wanted as well.
I mean, I'm assuming this is a human, right?
You have so far received no information that would indicate this is not a human, so if you wish to
A
assume
hard
it's a
success
human...
could be plenty. I don't want to kill the guy.
Okay.
I was thinking we were going to be following afterwards, so we would
Yeah.
expect...
Yeah,
more
you're
to-
following sometime afterwards. You're probably about halfway down the bar, you hear some sort of commotion going on outside. Maximilian, you tackle the guy down to the ground. The knife goes skidding out of his hand. You've got this guy pinned down.
All right.
He's struggling. He's trying to get out of there. He's trying to fight back. He's kicking. He's thrashing. Whitaker is down on the ground. His son is clutching a bleeding arm and is trying to reach his father. The other gentleman, the bodyguard, is trying to sort of... Seems to be trying to hold the blood inside Whitaker's stomach. It's not doing an incredibly good job. There's blood spilling out onto the cobblestones.
I'll yell for Mortimer.
Mortimer, you hear your voice being yelled from inside. John, you hear it too.
I'm going straight out there, so...
Okay.
Right.
I am going to ask both of you for either a strength or dexterity roll for either pushing or weaving your way through this crowd of people between you and the door. See how fast you can get outside.
I'll actually spend 14 luck to make that a success.
Okay, yeah, you're pushing out, and you see this scene. Maximilian holding the guy down who's struggling and trying to fight his way out. Can I have a strength roll from Maximilian, please? Mortimer, you step out to... Maximilian's got the guy held down.
I'm going to go straight to...
Whitaker's bleeding out. His son is all bleeding from a wound on his arm.
Yeah, I'm going to go straight to Whitaker, so he's most seriously wounded, and try to first aid him, basically, to stop him from bleeding to death.
Okay, give me a first aid roll here.
Let's see. Oops, wrong one. But a hard success anyway.
Hard success. Yeah, okay. You think, for the time being, you can keep him alive. This is
A mortal
a
wound.
very precarious situation. This is a mortal wound. You don't know how long you're going to be able to keep him alive for. Like, this is... Unless he gets properly stitched up soon, he's not going to survive. Even then, he may not survive. And the chance of infection killing him off is
Yes,
very high.
Is his son in any danger of dying as well, or...
His son's wounded, but doesn't look mortally wounded.
So I
from
can
your
just
assessment.
focus on Whittaker without having to worry about his son, basically. If it looked like his son was dying as well, I'd have to do something about that. But I probably need to focus on Whittaker.
Yes, John, you finally managed to get out through the crowds of people. The people kind of spilling out onto the street now, gathering around. You hear someone say, "Fetch the coppers!"
Okay. I'll make my way and try to help Max restrain the guy.
What kind of guy is that? Is that just some loon around?
He's wearing a sort of ragged, dirty coat. He had a knife in his hand. It's kind of hard to see him because you've got him kind of pinned down in the street.
Can we still see the knife?
The knife had kind of skidded off some distance away. It's lying on the cobbles. It's blood-stained. Blade.
Anything?
Quite a nice looking knife.
I was going to say, is there anything particularly interesting about it? No.
You can give me an appraise or a knife assessment roll, whichever you feel is appropriate.
I don't seem to have a knife assessment roll.
Me. Kind of hold over here.
That's going to be
You don't know enough about knives other than to know it looks very sharp. Quite a nice knife.
I mean, would you show that to me?
It's still on the ground though, right?
I mean, yeah, but I'm holding the guy. I can't feasibly go over there to check it out.
So I'll go over and get it without touching it with my hands. I'll use like my jacket or something to pick it up.
I'm reading those newfangled technology.
I mean, I can't not roll a roll that I get to do rarely, right?
Yes. Maximilian, looking at this knife, you can see, again, it's a very sharp knife. It's also, looks to be a fairly expensive knife. The sort that would be used, I think probably it's like a hunting knife. Used for like, dispatching game, gutting game. Like, it's not a cheap one. This looks like a nicely made knife.
I'll turn his arm a little, the arm that I have under control, and I'll ask him, "That's a pretty expensive knife you got there. Where'd you get it from?"
Okay, give me an intimidation roll, please, here.
Shite, I'm not really intimidating. Damn it. That's a nice roll, but that does not help.
Would he not get a bonus because he's got the guy pinned down?
You know what, yes, situational bonus. You can have a bonus die for this.
He is outnumbered and pinned down.
Yes, the guy is pinned down on the ground.
I can roll even worse.
But Maximilian is somehow not scary. Like, I don't know how you phrase it. Like, that's a very nice knife you got there. Yeah.
Might be the age not looking that horrifying anymore.
Yeah, he might also not quite have heard you. He's pinned down to the streets. There's a gathering crowd, and from the back of the crowd, you hear the blowing of a whistle.
There you go.
You see a policeman come pushing his way through, like, make some space, what the hell's going on over here? And sort of surveys the scene before him. During all this commotion, I'd like all three of you to give me a spot hidden. See if you notice something. All three of you notice Whittaker's bodyguard, the one who was kind of easing back into the crowd of people, just kind of like he's detaching himself from the situation.
Oi, where are you going?
I need this trouble. This is just the policeman's arriving as the whistleblower's like, I ain't keen to talk to the cops about this. I'm out of here.
Quick question.
Do the same.
Would Whittaker have had a package with him on his person?
Are you asking me, or are you asking the man?
Would I have noticed whilst I was trying to administer first aid to him?
You did not notice that he had any kind of package on him, no. Not whilst you're busy trying to stop him bleeding out.
Yeah, I thought whilst I was first aiding him, I might have noticed if he had something on his person. So
What
chances
you've
are,
seen, I mean, he's probably got stuff in his pockets, but he didn't really have.
yeah,
He was slightly preoccupied.
it's true.
But yes,
But at least someone went for a cab earlier at the start.
whether that giant man will come back with the cab, now this is all going on, you did. But yes, the policeman. You hear the policeman's whistle. The bodyguard is making himself scarce, unless you actually want to like hold him there, or try and get him to stay.
No, it might be better just let him go.
I'm focused on the first aid at the moment.
Yeah.
And Whitaker's son's still there to be a witness.
Yeah, Whitaker's son's still there. Like, stay with us, Pa. Will he be all right? He'll be all right, right?
He should be. We need to get him somewhere I can stitch him up properly, but just lucky I happen to be a doctor and happen to be here at this time.
All right. What's going on here?
Well, this person here stabbed that person, and I saw him and I tackled him down.
All right.
I have no clue any further to what's happening here.
You see him whip out a pair of handcuffs. He's
And this
You stay there. Like, punching in hand, like just prodding at the guy's chin. Like, don't even think about getting up. Right.
We need to get this guy to somewhere he can be stitched up as well before he gets out. And his son, I think, or the other gentleman has been wounded as well, but I've just been keeping his son alive.
Yeah, that cab over there, get it over here. Get this gentleman in. Get into the hospital. Around the corner. You a doctor? Or
Yes, I am. I'll stay with him and make sure he's treated.
you make sure he's get there. We will follow you. I still want statements from all of you gentlemen. And everyone here. The crowd is starting to disperse faster as he gets out his notebook.
Yeah. Suddenly they're not just
Okay. Whitaker's son will also go with Whitaker. The carriage starts rattling off. The cab starts rattling off towards the hospital. So Mortimer, you are in the cab with the Whitakers.
Yep.
John and Maximilian, you're back in the street with the policeman and the assailants. The policeman sort of blows his whistle again. There it goes. Should have company soon. You know these? Did you know those gentlemen? This gentleman? Gentleman.
I don't know any of these people really.
No?
I just saw him coming over from here to there, and I saw something glint in his hand. I wasn't sure what it was, but I kept looking, and then he stabbed the guy that is now in the cab, and tried to stab the kid, and before he could, really, I tackled him. Then we just waited for you, basically.
Well, good work. Quick thinking. It's good. There's not many people around here that would interfere in a knife fight with someone they don't know. You're a better man than most.
I think everybody would have done that, right?
No, they really wouldn't.
I mean,
You've clearly not been
everybody-
around whopping that much.
yeah, fair, maybe.
Right.
Haven't been in London for a while.
You don't know either of them either?
I don't know who.
He sort of nods to John.
Oh,
No.
Right. Constable Jenkins, can you get statements from anyone who's still in the bar? Anyone who saw anything, knows what this fight was about? Probably just drunken nonsense. You don't need to dig into it too far. But
I mean,
just in case there's anything more to it.
admittedly did look like drunken nonsense to me. He didn't come from the bar, he came from outside, right, and just walked past and had like this really expensive knife. I mean, that's not
That's it.
something
The
like
policeman just picks it up by the handle.
that's stuff that you use like on a safari or something.
Mm.
That's not like a cheap knife you get, you know. That's not something some sailor would have, which feels odd to me. I mean, I'm not a cop. I don't know stuff like that, but I know knives.
I'll take it to my
detective.
sergeant and see what he thinks. But usually, when someone gets stabbed outside a pub,
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that makes sense.
but yeah, right. Well, I'll go. I'm gonna go speak to the victim. Maybe if he lives, he might have some insight into this bloody mess. He's supposed to be home by now. He heads to find Amina Transport, follow Mortimer and the Whitakers to the hospital. Mortimer. Was there something you wanted to say?
Do we know which hospital they went to?
The nearest one, whose name I don't know
Okay.
off the top of my head.
Everyone knows it's the nearest
The
one.
east. Actually, east. Let's call it St.
Royal
Bart's.
Hospital.
So that way, I think. Yeah, St. Bart's. Don't look at the map in case that is terribly wrong.
We'll just say it is.
So
Is Whittaker conscious?
no, he seems unconscious.
But he's alive.
He's alive but unconscious.
Whilst I'm basically still keeping him alive, I've probably tied him with my cravat or something, a belt or something to stop him bleeding out too much. I'll turn to his son, say, I'm sure he'll be fine. Just need him to get to hospital quickly, I'll be able to treat it. But we were going to buy something off him. Did he actually have it with him?
Why do you ask?
Remember? What's that?
Why do you want to know? Have you set this up?
No, I wouldn't be here now if I had.
Oh, that's a fair point. Did you tell anyone else where we were meeting?
No, I didn't. Which is, we were concerned because we had been warned off by someone. So someone had been told about our interest in the item, so we think someone had...
You
Well,
wouldn't tell anyone. Like, that would be bad for business.
you would.
Look. The item's safe if that's what you're worried about.
What's that, sorry?
The item's safe if that's what you're worried about.
Yes, that's what it was. I'm assuming the gentleman who sneaked away was the one who had the items with him.
Why'd you assume that?
Well, if it's
You
safe...
don't let the hired muscle carry valuable artifacts.
That's a fair point.
Those guys, I'm paying to keep an eye on things, but you
I'm just
give them
wondering...
a large amount of gold, they'll be out of here in a flash.
Very true.
Never see him again.
I'm curious if the person who warned us off is the same one who was involved with this.
Maybe it seems someone really doesn't like us talking to you.
Yeah, this person seems to be quite influential. Once we've got your father patched up and healed up, we'll probably have to discuss this item, because there seems to be a lot of people involved with this, which is not the sort of people I want to mess with.
No, I mean,
I mean,
it's not the first time people have, taken a swing at Pa, but it's not been for a while.
yeah, but there's a difference between taking a swing at someone and trying to stab...
I meant tried to murder him.
Oh.
There's a turn of, you get into the habit of never giving me a straight answer.
It's okay. But, yeah, I just wanted to make sure the item's definitely safe and...
The item's safe. Give me a spot hidden or a psychology as you say that, please. Your choice. As he says it, you see his hand sort of drift to, his inside pocket. As he says the item's safe, just unconsciously his hand just drifts to his pocket.
I shall just check my sleight of hand skill. That's okay. I just wanted to make sure that basically the gentleman who sneaked away didn't take it, or that there wasn't another person we hadn't noticed who took it whilst we were doing all this. But,
It's not.
no. I'll did you want me to do a medicine roll to try and further treat him on the way, or
you're not really got. You're in a moving cab,
Yeah. It's,
a
yeah, just
horse-drawn cab over cobblestones.
yeah. So just stick with
It's the
the
most you can do to just
yeah the first aid roll
keep
and
things
just
in place. Yes.
so yeah. So at least I know the item's safe, and potentially we can look into it at a later date.
Yes, you arrive at St. Bart's. He's offloaded into the care of the doctor there. I don't know if do you want to linger around and assist, or do you have other places to be? It's your choice.
I'm going to help. I'm probably better than any of the doctors there.
So yeah, you are joining in assist. You can now give me a medicine roll if you're staying around to assist.
Yeah.
Just, you know.
Better not fumble this now. Hard success.
You think you're doing a good job. You think, you know, it's going to take recovery. Is going to take a while. It might take him a while to regain consciousness. You know, he's not going to be up and bouncing around in the next hour.
But he's going to survive.
But you think he's going to survive.
And
Considering you were planning on murdering this guy earlier this morning, I don't know if that's a plus or a negative. Like, you spent a good time planning to kill this guy.
well, potentially I was hoping he had the item on him and he was going to die, and I could take the item without him noticing. Not that it'd matter if he died anyway.
Yes.
But unfortunately, Mortimer's actually a doctor by nature, so he can't help but treat people who are wounded. Is the other one need treating, or is he being treated at the same time by someone else?
He'd be treated by someone else. Someone else is stitching up and bandaging his arm.
Yes. I'll just stay and treat him. Yeah, once I sort of make sense of this, I'll have to get in touch again, because I personally am still interested in this item simply because someone tried to warn us off it.
Are you talking to me, or are you talking to the son?
The son. So, once your father's healed up and recovered, I've patched him up, he's going to be
Look,
fine.
If you've got the £100, I'll sell it to you.
It is a very good
I'll give it
point.
to you half price. You saved my father's life. That's the least. That's the least I can do. I would say give it to you free, but then if he wakes up, he'll never forgive me. Half price, 50 quid. It's yours.
That is certainly a deal.
I don't want anything more you want to do with this thing. It could be your problem.
Okay, that's a deal.
Deal.
A shake on it. How should I get the money to you? At the shop?
Yes,
That may
at
be the
shop.
best.
Yes.
I'll see you at the shop. I'll sort out the money and I'll see you at the shop. I'd like to say tomorrow, but I think you're probably going to be checking on your father, making sure he's okay.
One
And
of us will be there.
we'll sort it out. I'll have to make sure I've got the money, because it was D'Angelo who'd arranged the actual original purchase.
If you've not got the money, that's fine. I'll find someone else I can offload it on.
We'll sort it out, don't worry. But hopefully your father will... He will heal up. I know he has. I know he will, because I treated him. But,
That's good to me. Doctor's so sure of their own skills.
Hmm.
Right,
Anyhow.
thank you, though, for your quick action. Yours and tell your friend, the other gentleman, when you see him. Thank you. Like, if he hadn't intervened, I don't know what we'd have done. He'd have gone.
yeah, definitely.
He missed.
It's not,
Pretty down fast.
he was. And Max is decent in a fight. Lucky he was there, to be fair. I couldn't have taken that gentleman as quickly as that.
No. Oh.
I wonder who it was. I wish I had time to find out, but I was too busy.
Well, I'm sure questions will be asked.
They will.
But yeah, thank you.
Well, take care of yourself and good health to you and your family. I'll make my exit.
Okay. So, during these hours between Mortimer and the policeman and the Whittakers leaving the scene and Mortimer finishing up at the hospital, by which point it's probably quite late into the, several hours this will have taken. During this time, John and Maximilian, was there anything you wanted to do?
Get out of that area without getting stabbed ourselves.
I mean, really, really considering meeting Mr. Malmsey at home. But this is just the vengeful part of Max screaming at him to do something about this, but what are we gonna do about that? I mean, he's literally tried to stab somebody over this.
We don't know for certain just yet. I mean, we can probably assume it to be true, but we don't know for certain just yet.
I mean, we don't need to prove anything to us. I mean, if it's... I mean, sure, the guy might have been just your average drunk, and the knife might have been stolen by from somebody, right? There's a possibility.
Well, I mean, the guy who stabbed him had already identified him as the mark before. You know, he was obviously not in the bar waiting for him. He was already knew he was going to be there, and got him as soon as he came out. So we need to find out who sent this guy.
Let me just try something. We're still at the bar, right?
It was close by, yeah.
Is the how's the terrain? Is this like cobblestone, or is there like dirt and refuse on the road?
Mostly cobblestone, and there's some dirt on it. It's dirty cobblestone.
So there's the chance of tracks where the guy came from.
It's also, you're in a city, remember? There
Hard.
are going... I would say this would be an extreme success to get anything, and a critical success probably to actually be able to track a guy in a city.
You know what? Can't go.
This is a
wrong,
very
right?
long shot. Like,
Let me just. I can't spend the luck to make this extreme. This is stupid. I don't.
yeah, you can't really tell where they come from. Like, there's been a lot of traffic, people coming in and out of the pub. Like, there's a few footprints in the mud, but there could be anyone's footprints. It's sort of churned up in the dirt.
Inconvenient. All right. I mean, I saw him come from here, and I just walk vaguely in the direction where I saw him come from.
Okay.
And just take a look around, and then.
He looks to have come from the direction of St. Catherine's docks, so down towards the docks.
Could have come from everywhere here. We go down there. There.
There's narrow streets and little houses behind the big wharf sheds on the docks themselves.
Well, maybe the cops will get something out of the guy, but now that the guy's in the hands of the cops,
You know, Max, you're an adventuring sort of guy. Did you recognize that knife? I mean, any kind of like where that might have come from, or who could have afforded something like that?
I mean, it's a hunting knife. It's an expensive sort of knife used like in hunting and safari to skin stuff, and it's not prohibitively expensive. I mean, I could probably afford one if I put some money to it. The guys that spend on safaris, they have these things.
Okay, because it doesn't seem to be quite matching to the guy's other appearance.
Yeah. I mean, the appearance was clearly, I'm hiding in between the poor people.
Did you notice whether he was, when you had him tackled, was he particularly clean, or was he dirty of the sort, if you're...
I mean, the clothes were rags, but storyteller was how the guy, like, did the guy feel like dirty, or was he just like wearing ragged clothes?
His clothes were dirty and ragged around the edges. He was dirty by the time you finished with him, because he was sort of like face down in a puddle.
But I saw him beforehand.
You didn't get a good look at him beforehand. It was dark. You saw his coat. he seemed to be walking like he was drunk before. But one thing you would have noticed when you were holding him down is he didn't smell alcohol on him.
Mm-hmm.
Couldn't smell alcohol on his breath. Like he was walking when he originally was there, like he was blind, drunk, and stumbling, but he didn't smell of alcohol. He kind of, what he smelled like you can't really tell. There's a lot of street and.
Yeah, he was not like smelling like I haven't washed in weeks.
No,
but
it wasn't.
It was like
he wasn't noticeably filthy. Like he wasn't. You didn't think, oh god, this guy stinks as you're holding him down. Like it's a.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. There's not. He hasn't had like the smell of alcohol to him.
Or any high-end perfume or cologne.
No.
He also did not have any striking. He did not smell of cologne, reptiles, dead bodies.
He smelled.
And anything else we're checking
awfully like nothing. I think
on the
I think he
sniff
might.
tests recently.
Okay. I got like
Esoteric Society sniffing people all across London. Okay, you're good.
Okay. Suspicion. The guy's something occult because he didn't smell like anything.
Yes, you managed to make your way out of Wapping without being mugged. Actually, you managed to make your way out of Wapping without being mugged, stabbed, or otherwise assailed.
That sounds good.
Mortimer, you eventually finish up at the hospital. Would you have any plans? Would you meet up again this evening, or?
It's probably a good idea for me to head to the society and meet with the other two to make sure they're told about what's happened, basically.
So late in the evening, the three of you reconvene at the society.
I probably need to wash some of the blood off, to be fair.
James will find you a fresh shirt.
I've probably got a set of clothes there, just in case.
You've got emergency blood clothes. They've got ones for you. They've got your own personal ones. They've also got sort of generic emergency is someone covered in blood clothes.
True. Said that, I did dress down.
And
so
a sundress.
I've got not murderous clothing in the house ready.
Yeah. You're proper smart things from earlier. So yes, the three of you reconvene over your choice of more tea, brandy, whiskey, sherry, anything from the cupboards.
I think I'll just stick with tea at the moment, but well, actually no. It's late in the evening. I'll go with cognac.
Ooh, fancy. Yeah, sure. Why not?
Yeah.
Well, I went to the hospital. Whitaker's going to be okay.
Oh, good to hear.
A mess. He's not conscious yet, but he's going to be fine. He's going to survive.
So
That's good. Good to
Stab
hear.
missed anything vital?
His son was the one who was carrying the artifact we were interested in. I managed to negotiate with his son on the way to the hospital as I was saving his father's life, and got the price reduced to £50.
Much more reasonable.
And I've agreed to it, and I've agreed one of his sons is going to be keeping an eye on them in the hospital, and whichever one is at the shop, I'll be able to make the exchange and basically buy the item off him. Probably want to inspect it first, but £50 is a much better price, and the gentleman, Mr. Level Lloyd Price, when I spoke to him at the museum, said £100 was a good price for it. Was a reasonable price, so £50 is a definite one. Keeper, I've got no idea how money works in the 19th century. Can Mortimer actually afford that?
What is Mortimer's credit rating?
He's at 50, and it's regarded as wealthy, whatever that is. Any
What's that?
50.
50. Let me have a think. Let me consult some exciting tables.
Exactly. Or whether he'd need assistance.
It is within. It's pushing it for having cash on readily available. Like, you would either have to get someone else's help to fund the rest of this, or liquidate some of your assets. So sell something off, either from your book, either sell a good portion of your book collection, or anything else you might own in terms of
Or
actual hard, bound up in assets. But
it's doable.
yeah, you can probably get just a bit over half of it in cash.
Oh. I suppose John could offer to help with that as well.
The other possibility is I just go to the museum and get the money from them. The museum would probably be able to afford it.
I mean, with a credit rating 12, I can probably put like £1 to the whole thing.
But I had sort of been hoping we'd be able to just afford to keep it for the society.
I could.
A short time before handing it over.
Do you think I could afford £25? I have a credit rating of 31.
31? Let's see. You could probably afford about, at a push, let's say you can afford 15 of it.
Mm-hmm.
And Mortimer, you'd probably be able to put up probably about 30 of it.
All right. So we're missing 5.
So potentially we could afford to buy it, but it will leave us strapped for cash.
Yeah.
At this point, as much as I would have liked to have kept hold of it myself...
Doesn't Ignatius keep some spare emergency cash? I mean, he owes us anyway.
He's probably got a cape for cash somewhere.
Doesn't the society have spare funding for stuff like that? I'm not sure. But that was the point of having a society, wasn't it?
That's true. I'm not sure how much access Mortimer would have for said money.
I mean, more than any of us.
True.
You know that Cecil Albanathy administers the society's actual accounts on behalf of the trust, which you do have access to.
And Mortimer has been helping him with the books. I think you've been helping him with...
The society would definitely be able to put up at least half of the money without committing difficulty. The society, with enough warning and enough time to prepare, the society's funds, you think, would probably be able to afford it. But how much time that would take to arrange, you don't know.
That's true.
But yeah, the society would help. Between John, Mortimer, and the funds you can easily access from the society, you'd be able to afford it. Like the society, but it would stretch your finances. Unless you put the case to Cecil to spend a good portion of the society's money on it.
But having said that, we could try to get the money refunded via the society if we put the initial amount forward ourselves. Would that seem reasonable enough one?
I mean, can I get the last 5 with my 12 in credit rating? Is that in my spare cash? Probably not.
No, I think between us 3, we could probably just about afford it, but whether we could get the money back from the society or whether we wish to just go to the museum and get the money from them and get hold of the item that way for them.
Yeah, but then we lose access to the item for our own purposes.
Yeah.
And, the police wouldn't know that we were involved.
True. So, what does everyone think we should do? I'm not entirely sure how important this artifact is or this item is.
I'm not even sure whether we're talking about the clay mirror or the gold.
I think it's the gold bracelet. We were told at the time the stone mirror is not for sale, which makes me think it's already been sold. I think that was the initial heist. That was the plan.
Okay. I mean, even then, if it's just the gold bracelet, we could probably just have the museum bike back.
I say we could get reward money from the museum for having turned it in. I mean, we might not recover all of our money.
True, we could. It's something to think about. What I'll do, first thing in the morning, I can go to the museum, chat to Neville Lloyd Price there, and basically, I can just come clean more or less with what happened. A gentleman. Well, yeah, I'll come more or less clean with him. So the gentleman who managed to get hold of the item, was almost murdered. But with saving his life, he agreed to let us have the item at a reduced price from someone else and see whether the museum will put the money forward. But the problem with that is we lose access to it, as you say.
Yes,
Well, we can just buy it off him and then return it to the museum if it proves to be not dangerous.
True, if it appears to be mundane, but also whether the museum's a safe place for it to be locked up in.
Nah, I mean, if it's mundane, the museum's fine, right?
True. So what should we do? We could probably get the money together to buy it.
Yeah.
And then get our money back, possibly via the society or the museum.
Yeah, or both. Like a combination of them. So I'd hope the museum would reimburse us for our efforts to reclaim the whole thing, because they need it for like a cultural reason, right? Not just the value of the gold.
Yeah.
So we're gonna buy it.
Yep, okay. I'm good with that.
Sounds good, but I'll try the museum first to see if they can give us the money up front, potentially.
So to be clear, you're going to the museum to tell them that you know the item's whereabouts and asking for the money, rather than acquiring it for the society's own personal purposes.
That's the thing, I'm trying to decide what we want to do.
I think that is your big decision here. Do you want to either paying for it upfront and getting a refund, as in, do you want to acquire it for the society or for the museum?
Yeah.
I mean, we could acquire it first and then return it to the museum if it proves to be harmless.
True.
I think that's probably the safest way to do.
But having said that, if we returned it to the museum anyhow, Neville Lloyd Price might be willing to give us access to it anyhow. Obviously, we're trustworthy enough to have helped recover it. We're not going to permanently run off with it. They'll want it on display now. They change things around in museums so much.
Yeah, but if it's in the museum, there's more people that have access to it. If it's dangerous, we shouldn't have it in a place where a lot of people can get it.
Definitely. So yes, let's buy it for ourselves first, as we can do so. Then we can choose to return it or not return it.
Yeah, I think that's the safe play.
Okay, so you're scraping together the funds and buying it from the Whitakers.
potentially either getting the money back from the society, or if we wish to keep it for the society, or from the museum if we
So
choose to
who
return.
is going over to complete the handover, the purchase at the furniture shop? The next, I assume, either the next day or the day after. The choice is yours. Or leave it longer if you want to leave it longer.
I'll be with them.
I think all three of us probably for safety reasons.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, so 3 of you head over the next day to Whitaker's furniture shop in Knightsbridge.
We'll probably get a cab there as well. Actually, we'll probably get the coach with Bo.
Yeah. And there waiting for you in the showroom is yet another Whitaker brother. Not the one you saw in the shop yesterday, or the one you saw in Wapping yesterday, but it definitely looks like another Whitaker brother.
Family resemblance.
The strong family resemblance.
Good morning.
Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. Hope your father's doing well.
My father.
Attorney Wall.
Oh, you must be the
Dr. Mortimer Davenport at your service.
Thank you for what you did for Father and Peter last night.
It's no problem. I couldn't not do it. It's in my nature to treat people.
We're very grateful. I mean, on the other hand, he wouldn't have been in Wapping if it wasn't for you. But yeah. you know.
There's a weird happening that evening.
Strange things happen. So,
We were
Peter
interested
said
in.
you might be over.
Yes, we were interested in. We'll say a piece of furniture.
Yes. Well, you have the money. I have this lovely carved table ornament. It's like a small ornamental, just like a wooden owl, about this big.
You know, there hasn't in the last day. There hasn't been anyone else interested in that particular item, has there been?
That item? I mean, we had a few people interested, but Peter said to hold on. For you. You seemed a trustworthy buyer the first time round, and now it would seem ill-mannered to sell it to someone else after we'd offered it.
True.
To you, but there's no one been banging at the door after it.
No, I'm hoping this is the right piece.
Yeah.
There were 2 pieces.
It's a bracelet. It's a bracelet. Like, there's nobody else in here. Father's not around. It's a bracelet. Would you like to buy a valuable gold bracelet off me?
Yes. There you go.
Great.
So here's the money.
Yes, and here, inside this, don't go. Have your wooden owl, the bracelet is inside it, packed in sawdust.
Thank you.
Perfect.
In case, I don't know, we get raided by the police, which never happens.
What's that?
And it better not happen.
Well, now there's nothing to be raided here, right?
Exactly. But still, it would be awkward.
Well, if you were to just find some interesting pieces of furniture you're interested in selling, please let us know. We might be interested in purchasing them. We might not, who knows.
Well, I'll send a word round. Is your... is it?
18 Grosvenor Square, I believe.
Yeah, and we can send messages there about...
Just let us know if you've got an interesting piece of furniture we might be interested in.
We will do. We will do. Oh,
Thank you for your
pleasure
time.
doing business, but this has been
Yes, I
one of the
know.
worst business dealings we've had in a while. I'm not sure I can place that blame on you, but yeah, it's been unfortunate.
Well, strange things happen in London.
They do, yes.
And that pub actually has quite an unpleasant reputation.
Why did you pick it then?
I didn't pick it. The last time I went there.
Who suggested going to the murder pub?
I was thinking that that's far enough away to be safe from the police, and it was certainly safe from the police.
You do know that there's more than one lot of police in London. They're in different areas.
Oh, I haven't been in London for a while. Sure, probably somebody else picked the location, but you know.
Well, anyway,
Yes.
I
We're
trust we
better-
can have future business meetings. I don't know, here.
Yes, I think here's probably a better place. I know it's not entirely neutral, but you seem, well, respectable in this sort of trade deal as such, so our worry was being double-crossed, really, and set up, hence we chose neutral ground.
Yes, well,
And you
I'd
probably
like to
didn't
suggest
do-
decidedly non-neutral ground in future. Safe ground.
We'll choose safe ground, perhaps a gentleman's club or something. Who knows?
Yes, yes. Well, anyway. Good day.
Yes, good day to you.
Good day.
And thus you leave the establishment with one valuable golden bracelet.
Yep.
Do we know
Tucked
whether
away
it's in
safely
there?
inside a wooden owl.
Hmm.
You presume.
Okay.
Once we're in the cab, I'm going to check.
Okay. Let's see, the bottom of the owl unscrews. There's like a billow of sawdust across the... Ooh, mind that bang. Across the
Coach.
coach, and you see, yes, nestled inside is a gold bracelet decorated with a serpentine.
And can I do an appraise roll?
Yes. Give me an appraise roll. What are you just trying to determine here? Whether you got a good deal?
I don't want to spend any more luck. I will spend luck. I'll make it a success. I basically want to get an idea of the true value of it and any information I can find of it.
Okay, I mean, for appraisal, the worth of this thing? I
Sure.
mean, you think it could easily go for 4 times what you paid for it.
Yeah.
As for, it's definitely Egyptian. It's definitely old. You're not really an expert on jewelry. Not exactly
True.
your area. But
Could I try a mythos roll to see if it's anything mythos that I know
anything
about it?
you've read about?
More or
Or
less.
anything you've seen in a book? Yeah, you can give me a mythos roll.
Dealing with Nitocris in particular, or any. I don't know if. I don't think I've actually read any books tied in with the serpent people as such. But who knows? I'll try just. No. Oh, that's quite close actually. I am running out of luck.
I mean, that's just 7 points, right?
Turning it over in your hands.
Yeah,
The metal is warm to the touch.
that's a bit strange.
Are you spending the luck or not?
Yeah, luck's there to be spent. I mean,
It's warm. It's almost like tingle across your fingers as you run your fingers across this thing. And the design of it definitely puts you in the mind of serpent people, of Nitocris, of the Black Pharaoh. It's, would be a connection to one or all of those. Certainly snakes, great symbolism. I need you to make me a power roll here. So you run your hands over this thing. And actually, no, not a power roll. Let's make this a sanity roll. Sanity roll. Sanity.
Oh, sanity roll.
Yes.
Not power roll.
I think sanity is more suitable for this situation.
No, that's not good.
As you run your fingers across the surface of this, you notice 2 things. First of all, you feel there was a tingle sensation that the only thing this really reminds you of that you've come across that you might have touched or seen, first of all, is D'Angelo's rapier. Something about it, about the touch, the feel of the metal on your fingers reminds you of D'Angelo's rapier. And then you feel the gold surface shift under your fingers. And you're not running your fingers across metal. You're running your fingers across sun-warmed scales. As you can feel the bracelet seem to slither and coil in your hands, like a living snake beneath your fingers. And roll me 1d4, please.
Is it what I think it is?
You lose 3 points of sanity. You realize what you're holding in your hands is alive with magic and power. The other two of you watching, you see Mortimer go still for a moment as he's holding this bracelet, so turning it over in his hands. He sort of freezes up for this moment, his hands trembling slightly on the metal as he stares down at it. Mortimer, it's strange, you can feel the snake in the metal, but you can't see it. Looking down, it is still just the bracelets you're holding.
So I can feel that it's a snake, but it just looks
For a
like...
moment there is a snake, and then it's just metal once more. It just feels like sun-warmed metal.
Well, this is definitely something we want to keep hold of. At least that's my impression. For a moment, it felt it was like it was a real snake in my hands, but it isn't. But it felt like it.
Yeah, I mean, if this is odd, then it needs to stay here.
Definitely.
You definitely seem to have some strange reaction to it when you were feeling
Yeah.
it.
I felt it was a snake moving in my hands. That's why I froze. Did either of you want to hold it and see?
Can I try something stupid? You'll take care if this is stupid, right?
You're gonna put it on, aren't you? That's exactly what I was thinking of doing, but I thought,
Yeah,
no,
I'm gonna put it on.
Feel it? You slide it up your arm. The metal feels warm. Give me a sanity roll, please, as you slide this on, as you place it around you. See if you notice anything. Feel it coil and slither around you, wrapping around your arm, settling there. It feels hungry, so it's waiting for something, wanting something. Roll me 1d4, please.
Alright.
This living bracelet, this serpentine circlet, coils around you. Please deduct 2 points from your sanity.
This feels hungry. I've heard people talk about spells, right? So I'll try to focus on it and see if I can feed it, like will or like strength.
You can feed it magic points.
Sure.
How many would you like to feed it?
Currently I can feed it about 5. So let's just put like 2 in there.
Okay. Oh, we have a slight internet glitch. It appears you have lost Mortimer. He has leapt out of the moving carriage. In fear. As Maximilian focuses his mind on the bracelet, Mortimer just rolls out of the carriage.
Oh no, I killed Mortimer!
You hear the
No, you
thunder
didn't.
of the horse's hooves as it carries on the route. Then you focus back in the present, that horrible nightmare flickering away from you. Let me see if I can temporarily transfer us to a...
Yeah, the moment Astral shows up, everything breaks.
I know, this is
Hmm.
okay, the names will be wrong, but I'll
Sorry.
It'll be fine. Right?
hang on.
Be right.
We'll use this one for the time being. And then if he returns, I don't have time to correct the names. But yes, as you
Oh,
pour
still fine. Nice.
magic power into the bracelet, there is a soft slithering noise, and a cobra drops to the floor of the carriage. Mortimer freezes up, staring at it in horror. You see Snake coiling on the floor. And there's a slither and a second one spills out from the bracelet.
All right.
It looks left and right, its head twisting back and forth. And then it lunges forwards towards John. John, you see one of the cobras lunging towards you.
I was hoping he was
trying to
just.
fight back about it or dodging away from it.
Do I have anything to hand in the cab?
There is Max's walking stick. There is a wooden owl. There is probably Mortimer's medicine bag. He usually carries that. There is a cushion.
I've had bad luck with a cushion lately. Although if it caught fire, that might be helpful. I'll try grabbing for Max's walking stick.
So you're fighting back.
Yeah.
Right, give me a fighting brawl roll as you're about to be attacked by a snake.
Nice.
I have the wrong window open. Why? You hit the snake. It drops down dead to the floor of the carriage. The second serpent is still there,
I would like to.
coiling back and forth on the floor.
I'd like to go and grab that behind its neck.
Yeah, you pick it up. It does not try and attack you.
Oh. I'm trying. Can I get it back into the?
There is no hole in this bracelet that the snake came out of. You're not sure where the snake came from, but
I'm just gonna open the window and yeet it out.
just
We're driving, right?
yeah.
Just throw it in together.
You just throw a cobra out of the window of a moving cab into the streets of London.
Yes, not a problem anymore.
Nothing's gonna go badly with that one, right?
As the cobra sails out of the window, and as the cab rolls back round to Grosvenor Square, the society has the artifact in hand, and Maximilian appears to have unlocked something of its power, and perhaps decided against it. He sets it down on the cushion of the cab as you arrive back at the society. I think that is where we're going to have to end tonight, seeing as we appear to have lost one of our investigators along the way.